Shadows of the Imperium's ignorance. My
Lord Captain, we've received an astropathic message from Dargonis. Achilles Scalander reports a Xenos raid against the merchant ship. Yeah, Achilles Scalander. That's what I was saying. Heinrichs. We've identified the breed of Xenos that pose this threat, the Eldari, humanity's ancient insidious foes. How is it you were the only soul who managed to escape the trap on Rykab Minoris? How much truth is there to the rumors that the heretic Kunrad Voitvir is spreading about you? Do my eyes deceive me? Explain yourself, Elentok. Why is there a shard of Cruderrock in your chamber? I don't know.
You are accused of consorting with Xenos, betraying the Imperium, and neglecting the interests of humankind.
Oh, is that what the thing was Yearliette saw in our room that made her freeze? It was a shard of Cruderrock? Pulsating strands stretch from under Cassia's headpiece, one wrapping around her neck while the others drain her lifeblood through her weeping eye sockets and mouth. Oh, what? We're seeing a vision of dead Cassia? Every exposed area of Argenta's skin is mottled with an intricate pattern of scarlet blisters, crimson indentations, and charred tissue.
Curiosity.
Haskell's augmetics are separated but not extracted from his body. The places where they connect to the organic tissue teem with predatory millipedes feasting on coagulating blood and accumulated pus. Abelard Rosarian's limbs were amputated and then sewn back onto his body with remarkable skill and precision using human tendons. What? Why?
The tribunal is waiting for your explanations.
There's Heinrichs.
Come closer.
Is that Theodora on the left? And here comes our principal witness, the rogue trader himself. Heinrichs gives you a cold look. If the presented evidence was not enough to convince you, his testimony will conclude this confusing case full of oath-breaking lies and heresy. Theodora, you dragged this boy into this trial and now expect someone will lend an ear to a lowly heretic's testimony? I thought better of you, Interrogator von Kalox. I was so very wrong. Lady Theodora's voice sounds even harsher and angrier than you remember. Lord Inquisitor makes a vaguely dismissive gesture. Enough. Let him speak. The sooner this business is concluded, the better. Then let us continue. Shielded by the powers of the warrant of trade granted by the Imperium, Theodora von Valancius more than once allowed herself to openly corroborate with Xenos. You've never seen such a contemptuous grimace on the interrogator's face. She plunged her entire protectorate into apostasy and heresy, including the current rogue trader, and went out of her way to prevent the Inquisition and me personally from maintaining order inside the Expanse. Does the rogue trader admit to fraternizing with Xenos, serving them as a puppet, and rejecting God Emperor's blessed light for the sake of its heretical desires and base profit? Willpower. Something is wrong. Why are you all here? Where is Marazai? What happened? Success. You try to recall anything at all, but your thoughts keep swirling like a turbulent maelstrom in your head, and swearing pain grips your temples. The loading screen takes something away from that. Seeing the flash of reality and then going back into the illusion was cool, but the loading screens... Heinrichs bends over you. I almost read bends you over. I was like, whoa. Bends over you with a crooked smile. Rogue trader, are you all right? Or was your heretical association with Xenos so disruptive that you lost your mind? The mocking words do little to hide his irritation. The interrogator is obviously displeased with the turn the conversation is taking. The Inquisitor leans forward slightly at the sight of your anguish. For a brief moment, the boredom in his eyes is gone. It was amusing, but the joke has outstayed its welcome. Theodora shoots the interrogator a nasty look. It is painfully obvious the heretic is dancing to your tune. His word against mine? Have you lost before you even unsheathed your blade, Heinrichs? You need not worry, dear Lord Captain. It was not my intention to bring up unsupported claims. Heinrichs produces a data slate and skillfully manipulates the device until he locates the necessary information. The interrogator gives the data slate a sour look and puts it away. There was not much evidence to collect, but the mere fact the rogue trader inevitably ended up in the right place when the Drukhari attacked his worlds and merchant vessels, even sometimes late, is the best proof that he was cooperating with other Xenos. Who else could provide detailed information about the Cabal's future movements and raiding targets? Iconoclast. The only Xenos plan I'm aware of is the one where they play foul games with my head. Indeed! Xavier shoots the interrogator an amused look. What do you think he's talking about? Iconoclast. He's obviously trying to disrupt the trial. Muck von Luck, I suggest you watch your tongue and behave yourself. And perhaps, only perhaps, it will be enough to preserve your miserable life. He shoots you a withering glare. Thinking about my tongue, huh? At this point, the tribunal probably wants to know what the true intentions of the von Valancius dynasty are. The rogue trader claims he has been waging war against the Drukhari this entire time. Except, was there really a war? Or was it another carefully staged performance? He looks at you closely, almost without blinking. Allow me to explain what actually happened. Muck von Luck von Valancius personally invited the Drukhari to his world, then used their strength and resources to sow chaos in the expanse to gain leverage over his rivals. It is very convenient to play the victim while working with those who rob your neighbors blind and terrify the worlds you pay tribute. How much did you profit from this, rogue trader? Did you think I would not uncover your pathetic conspiracy? Willpower. Enough of this circus, Heinrichs. I did not set up any attacks. Success! His face contorts monstrously, his skin stretched to the limit across the bones of his skull, his voice ringing with fury. K. Morag, do not try to squeeze between the strands of the web, monkey. Do what you were brought here for. He said monkey. It's slipping. Are you really saying this war with the Drukhari was not a hoax? Then how did you and your foolish subjects know the coordinates of the enemy ships every time? How did you know their targets? Do you think you're an expert on all things Xenos was shrewd enough to divine the carefully devised plan of the Cabal's finest? No, only other Drukhari could do that, and even then only a few. This means you're in collusion with them. Bull-headed stubbornness does not befit a man of your pedigree, rogue trader, but since you've decided to deny everything, I will summon another witness. I'm sure everyone will find it interesting to explore the sordid story from another angle. Yerliet silently takes a graceful step forward. If the court so desires, my speech will run like a river and wash away your doubts. I found a shard of my home in the rogue trader's chambers, an entire craft world vanished among the stars, the only clue to its fate resting in the hands of this monkey. That was when I began to suspect he had something to do with the misfortune that had been befallen my Cruderrock. Do not be deceived by his breed. There is a cunning predator lurking behind the fluttering of fragile butterfly wings. The monkey before you is a bizarre amalgamation of qualities not usually inherent in his feeble species. He has mastered the mysteries of many of the world's cultures, the secrets of the universe and ancient artifacts, the fine art of war. The intricacies of defeat all are embodied in a single monkey, however hard it may be to believe. DJ Spud? Yeah, I could do this. Is definitely the time for DJ Spud, without a doubt. Continue. However, the thread that bound our paths broke the moment I realized the monkey's involvement in the disappearance of my home. To flee the rogue trader, I tracked down and eliminated his chief tracker who has pursued our kin in this part of the galaxy for many years, and thus earned clemency before this court. So Achilles did not simply vanish, you helped him disappear. Heinrichs nods curtly. I say he had only himself to blame. An agent who cannot recognize an impending threat is useless. Heinrichs nods with satisfaction, noticing your reaction, or rather, the lack of it. The court has been presented with enough evidence, and I hope no one is harboring any doubts as to the guilt of the von Valancius dynasty. But let us allow the rogue trader to say his final word. We are curious to know what you have gleaned from this inquiry. Is that all you've got? Xenos, I expected a better performance. You useless, arrogant, soon-to-be-dead monkey! This trial is almost complete, and when the judgment is pronounced, I will gut you, fill your bowels with flesh-eating worms, drag you through the streets. Enough. I love that I had the willpower to just completely wash aside that whole thing. After the spell is lifted, staggering pain pierces your body. Darkness clouds your vision, nausea creeps up your throat, but the wounds you manage to forget soon remind you you're still alive. Archon Nazrakai. Muffled clapping tears you from the vice of agony. The Drukhari in the center of the chamber observes you coldly from under the golden mask, causing your insides to clench. A Draken of the Cabal of the Reaving Tempest has been cast down by his own ineptitude in an attempt to take part in Thylian I Calathril, Never did I think that my eyes were destined to behold the greatest disgrace for a Dark One, a trueborn humbled by a lowly creature before the Council of Archons. 0% chance. Listen. With the greatest respect, mighty Nazrakai, Archon of the Cabal of the Blackheart, first among the chosen, voice of the Overlord of the Dark City, bringer of demise, conqueror of 100 worlds, Nazrakai dismisses Marazai like a bothersome fly. The Council of Archons have heard enough platitudes, Draken Marazai, and no longer wishes to. Sly intrigues, ruthless chill to jagged ice, turns lips and tongues and breath to ice. What? Stranger, of vitriol verbose, the cut and thrust, keep time with fate's own machinations grave, but whose deft footwork leads to naught but dust, while from its brutal finish none can save. This play the puppet master granted me, though murky stalls a path obligingly. The great puppet master has Vect himself invited you to this chamber. The Archon chokes on his own words, but quickly regains his composure. No matter. You may be our guest, Arabenian, but you are merely a spectator in this performance, and spectators do not belong on the stage, as you undoubtedly know. Do not interfere. The stranger presses a delicate finger to the lips of his sorrowful mask and says with a twinkle in his eye, "A shadow in the shadows will I be." Keep listening. It has been a long time since the Obsidian Court last saw such an entertaining spectacle as this. The accusations flung at Archon Euremus may be serious, but I see no reason to attempt to delve into their substance. The Drukhari on the throne looks at Marazai with a hungry leer, clearly waiting for his reaction. So here's what I understand is happening. This Marazai guy brought me here and tortured me in front of this, group of his betters to get me to confess that we were getting help from another other Drukhari, which then would give him standing. But I resisted all of it, and now he looks really stupid in front of his peers because a lowly monkey was just resisting his torture, and he looks bad. I think that's what's happening. Marazai's eyes widen, filled with astonishment and disbelief. He seems to have been certain of the outcome and did not expect what he's hearing now. His lips twist in an enraged snarl, hatred directed at the Xenos on the throne, and yet it finds no outlet under the gazes of the dozens of Drukhari in the chamber. This arena will make you answer for this insult to the court. The arena will strip you of your titles and your skin, and the contender's blows will break your bones and your pride. Nothing but blood and suffering will wash away the shame the Draken has brought upon himself this day. With a hiss of rage, Marazai draws his blades, preparing to fight back. And they just shoot him! The Archon nods in satisfaction and makes an unfamiliar gesture. The guard draws closer to you. Let us return to you, Yerimiris. I like how Muck, or the drive of Muck's character in this, is to try and make everyone else look as stupid as possible. That was me in tech support. The laughter of the masked Xenos interrupts the Archon and echoes under the vaults of the chamber in a resounding baritone. And all the masks upon their marks now stand, the slave of vanity, the spire ascends, the thief and traitor cast downward by her hand, unbeknownst to all their fate depends, upon a lead unseen, a player green. The Xenos leans forward and eyes you with genuine interest. The mask hides his narrow face and his motley garb shimmers in the dim light. Is this guy a Harlequin? Isn't there something with the dark elves in this series? There's the Black Library and Harlequins or something like that? I've only heard of it through a YouTube video. This guy, just because of his mask, I'm not sure if he's supposed to be one or if I'm just way off. Is this how you treat the hospitality of Kamarog, Arabenian? The Archon angrily balls his fist, the shadow of his wrath hanging over the Aldari interloper like a thundercloud. I thought your words were worth more. You insult me by interrupting the trial again. The Xenos sweeps into a theatrical bow without taking his eyes off Nazrakai's face. You Archons speak a just rebuke. In truth, fate's melodies and snarls fantastic have entrapped me here, and when I heard them play, I could not keep my lips from grinning wide. Here come the hour for shadows to retreat, to where the curtain waits to rise. The laugh, with no beginning, now sends forth the call. I just got stabbed in the back. Rip. Yes, it is Harlequin.
Oh, strike me again. See what happens.
Hi, Galgro. Am I in the body pile now? The world is an impenetrable haze of warm pain. You lie motionless. No, you rest in the murky gloom, slowly dissolving into nothingness. Sometimes your repose is troubled by unpleasant and persistent tremors coming from the place where your legs used to be. You do your best to ignore them. Away, you vulture. This is not your prey. A vaguely familiar voice reaches you through the curtain of darkness, but your disobedient thoughts refuse to reveal where and when you've heard it before. Was it just recently or 100 lifetimes ago? The trembling coming from your legs is replaced by a violent jerking motion, and then it finally stops. From this phantasmagoria, retreat and deftly seize my merchant vagabond. The puppet master's strings left dangling. Again, rise up and take your place and dance. A spark ignites in the dark. Okay, so implying that this puppet master is the one that convinced Achilles to convince Heinrichs to convince me to do all this stuff earlier. Are you in Komarog? I don't think so. Wasn't Komarog destroyed? Isn't it in pieces? A spark ignites in the darkness, and its light ruthlessly cuts through the gloom that envelops you. An ugly image of the reality around you assaults your retina. You can feel your body again and realize it filled with pain. Your shoulder is sore from an injection. You will kneel and you will help me rise. No, I'm not going to be that pompous. Until I get a cup of recaf, my vital status is yet to be determined. Alas, the bliss of death will save you not. The whirling waltz of chance and gloom you'll dance. A prickling sensation burns your shoulder, and the darkness at last fully withdraws from your mind. Whatever that injection was, it's making your heart beat a frenzied tattoo, and your pupils narrow so that you can now register every detail of the disgusting place in which you have found yourself in merciless clarity. This man just gave me an adrenaline shot. I have almost 10% chance of success. Look at your rescuer. Your eyes refuse to focus on the blurry image of the person who came to your aid. He appears to be tall, and your mind emphatically refuses to continue, for every moment of concentration causes you suffering. I have seen you somewhere before. Who are you? A dream obscure of death deliverance, illuminating will and agony. Where am I? Among the shadows and the wings you lie, where taut are pulled the puppet master's strings. The stranger intricately links his fingers to mimic the tools of a puppeteer. My companions, where are they? Not here. The roles have been decided now, but if you play your part, perhaps the plot will draw you back together, or to doom. The figure's cruel laughter follows. This overture in verse, the final lines. The merchant's time to tread the boards has come. Embark now upon your pilgrimage, and take my parting gift, a humble prop. The stranger deposits something in your hand, and disappears into the twilight. Item received, gift from beyond the grave. An unremarkable and weak pistol. The engraving covering its surface is far more valuable than any meager stopping power it might possess. Attempt to rise. You may have commanded multiple planets and millions of lives in your life, but in this new reality, not even your own feet obey you. As if to punish you for your arrogance, your disobedient limbs send sharp pain up your body. 70%. Remember all the people whose lives depend on you. Willpower. Success. Hundreds of faces flash before your mind's eye. Yo, I'm doing the anime thing. I'm remembering my friends. Friends, subjects, and companions. The universe is cruel and full of darkness, and your will and determination are the only barrier between your loved ones and its crushing apathy and brutality. You have no right to die. Not here, not now. Resoluteness floods your veins like incandescent plasma and makes another attempt to get up. You gained the power of honor effect for permanent. Plus 10 toughness forever. What? Okay, cool. Continue. Your bare feet feel like they are stuffed with rags and refuse to obey. You have to draw upon all your willpower to suppress the rebellion and stand upright. The pain that engulfs your whole body immediately makes you question the wisdom of this act of defiance. Find a way to escape Komarog. I guess I am on Komarog. I like how the only thing in my inventory is the guns for a ship. How am I carrying a Mezzoa lance? That's completely normal. All right. All right, with that, chat, I think this is a good point to save it, and yeah, lots of progress. We will save it here and eagerly pick it up from this point next time.